Welcome to Take a Bite Podcast, Stories for Hungry Kids. My name is Miss Janine, and I'm going to tell you a story today to help you eat. Sounds easy, right? It is, but most importantly, it's fun. So, grab some breakfast, lunch, or dinner, a family member or friend, and your listening ears. Oh, there's one rule. Every time I stop my story and say, take a bite, you take a good bite of your yummy food. And if you finish that bite before I stop again, don't wait for me. Keep on munching. Okay, enjoy your meal, enjoy the story, and let's go! Take a Bite podcast stories are written for children 3 years of age and up. Adult supervision is always required while kids are eating and listening. Always remind your child to finish chewing before taking another bite to prevent choking. Choking while eating is a concern for children of all ages. Please see our website, takeabitestories.com, for more information. By listening to this podcast, you agree to all terms and conditions set forth within. Nutcrackers and Cheese. One chilly night, after the people were asleep, 2 nutcrackers opened their eyes. They were standing on the kitchen table, surrounded by holiday decorations and boxes of freshly baked cookies. Take a bite. The tall nutcracker had a black hat, black suit, and black shoes. His name was Pecan. The small nutcracker girl was shorter, with a purple and yellow hat, coat, and pointy shoes. Her name was Peanut. Take a bite. The brother and sister nutcracker began marching around the table because that's what nutcrackers do, besides cracking nuts, of course. They were marching in circles, arms swinging, boots clomping, when they heard a strange sound coming from the other side of the kitchen. Take a bite. They knew it could not be the children, for they were fast asleep in their flannel sheets in their beds. They knew it could not be Grizz, the family pup, since they could hear him snoring in the living room. Even Dad and Mom were sleeping soundly in their bed with the kitty cat. Pecan and Peanut decided to march over to where the sound was coming from. Take a bite. The sound got louder and louder as they got closer and closer to the giant cold thing with handles that holds all the food. Nutcrackers have trouble with the word refrigerator. Finally, the sound was right there, and Pecan and Peanut noticed another smaller sound coming from inside the fridge. Take a bite. They looked at each other, pointed their wooden arms, and nodded their heads. The fridge door began opening. There, sitting on the top shelf, was a yellow and square-shaped slice of cheese. It was wearing a big frown on its little face. Its legs were dangling from the shelf as it sat there on the edge, looking really sad. Take a bite. Pecan and Peanut looked at each other and then back at the slice of cheese. The cheese gave a sneeze and began to speak.
Hello, my name is Miss Swiss Cheese. I woke up and looked down at myself, and all my holes have vanished. Gone! I don't know where they went. Can you help me?
She said. Take a bite. Pecan and Peanut tried to nod their heads again, but they were glued too tightly, so they opened their mouths to speak instead. Now remember, most nutcrackers can only say 3 words: yes, no, and chomp. So Pecan and Peanut said the best for this moment.
Yes!
They would help Miss Swiss Cheese get her holes back. Take a big bite. She turned her frown upside down and hopped off the shelf. She waddled her thin, cheese-slicey self over to the nutcrackers and stood there. Pecan and Peanut began chomping their nut-cracking mouths as they came up with a plan together. When all that chomping stopped, they looked back at Miss Swiss. She blinked her little eyes and waited. Take a bite. The nutcrackers began marching again. Peanut pointed her arm to show Miss Swiss Cheese where to go. Miss Swiss Cheese followed the directions and laid down on the floor. She had forgotten to tell them something, though.
Do you know I'm really ticklish? When we Swiss cheeses get our holes, it never hurts us. Just makes us laugh. Okay, I'm ready.
Take a bite. She laid as still as can be as Peanut and Pecan marched over to her. March, march, and then march, march right over her. She squealed and laughed with delight. Little nutcracker boot-shaped holes began forming all over Miss Swiss Cheese as Pecan and Peanut marched and marched, tickling and tickling her. Finally, they stopped and Miss Swiss Cheese stood up. Take a bite. She didn't look like white American cheese anymore. She looked like beautiful, creamy Swiss cheese with lots and lots of holes. She felt like herself again, and she was so happy. Uh-oh. That was Marmalade, the family cat. All that marching must have made her curious as she began slinking down the stairs into the kitchen. Take a bite. Pecan and Peanut pointed their wooden arms at the fridge, and the door began opening. Miss Swiss Cheese yelled as she began running for the fridge.
Thank you for helping me. I'll see you soon.
She hopped back into the fridge right as the door shut behind her, and Marmalade the Cat appeared in the doorway. Pecan and Peanut froze. Take a bite. Marmalade padded over to them cautiously, sniffed, and gave a big yowl. She was not happy to be woken up from her nap. But there was nothing to do down here except smell Swiss cheese, which she did not enjoy one bit. She turned back around and went back upstairs to the people. Take a bite. Pecan and Peanut were more quiet this time when they marched back to the kitchen table to situate themselves between the cookies and decorations. They smiled, feeling warm inside, knowing they had helped a friend who just needed a hand or foot. Take a big bite. The end. Well, are you full? Did you finish your meal? Good job! If you didn't, keep eating. Mom or Dad can head to our website, takeabitestories.com, for some discussion questions. You can see what you remember about the story, how it made you feel, and what you liked about it. If you're all done for now, thanks for listening. I hope this story made you hungry for more. Bye-bye.